Men of high value, I want you to think everything you say is a tool. It can either enhance your reputation and keep your power intact, or it may break the regard and appreciation that women receive. What if I told you that I have for you? There are just 5 things that you should never disclose to a woman: your desire to be perceived as powerful, self-assured, and in control. These aren't merely errors that are possible game changers today. We're revealing these 5 items, and by when this video is over, you'll have the knowing how to maintain your respect wanted and in control of your let's talk about relationships, and you will want to hear every word, I promise. Second of Section 1 doesn't show your early life vulnerabilities, that every man has shortcomings, but the moment of when and if, it matters more if you tell a woman about them. Secret strength more than most initially realize phases of a partnership. It's crucial that you portray strength, and the reason for that perception is frequently the foundation of attraction. And the sense of assurance is what fuels early in life. A woman's desire is determining your identity, and what your first thing is what you're made of. What she finds out about you is your weaknesses, that she will unintentionally begin doubting your stability. Extend even more. You may believe that talking about your difficulties will make you more approachable or charming, but the reality is, women look up to men who can take those who lack emotional self-control, must be emotionally the world saved. High-value men their power initially, only when profound do they demonstrate that trust has been established. Susceptibility. She must see early on that you can manage the difficulties of life without breaking under pressure. It's critical should understand that disclosing too much soon doesn't simply change her perception of you. Additionally, it throws off the power dynamic when you reveal your flaws too soon. You give her the advantage regardless of whether she knows it or not. She begins to see breaks through your armor and starts to subconsciously wonder if you're competent to guide oneself, and by prolongation, causing her to believe that you are no longer you're the man who's got everything together. Now the man is having trouble figuring things out. Furthermore, individuals are inherently judgmental. People according to what is shown to them. If she finds out about you for the first time is what's missing from you, she'll have a more difficult to recognize your strengths later. It's not about hiding or acting phony. It's about how you portray yourself. That immediately commands respect. After that regard has been established, you can slowly reveal your difficulties. By then, you've demonstrated that you can manage the highs and lows of life, and your susceptibility will be perceived as strength, as opposed to let's dig even if weakness doubles the depth. Understanding the impact of keeping your weaknesses aren't only for defense. Your image also has psychological implications. Equilibrium in the partnership. When you share too quickly, you make a dynamic in which she resembles you more, therapist or caregiver instead of your spouse. High-value men don't do it to you. A companion ought to be someone who improves your life, not someone you feel a connection with unload. Since you're unable to manage your personal problems, consider your shortcomings like as a fortification only opens its doors. Gates, when the defenders are ready, are powerful, and when the timing is appropriate. Until then, the walls are still there. Impenetrable is what you must be. Strong, dependable, and calm fortress till she has merited the knowledge. What's contained in this strategy not just earns her respect while maintaining her attraction, inquisitive, and determined to comprehend additional information on you, are fundamentally how high-value men work. From a position of emotional independence, they resolve their own issues before enlisting the help of others. This does not imply that you should never open it. Indicates that you strategically do so at the appropriate moment, when the partnership has grown up enough to perceive it as a symbol of confidence rather than Section 2 weakness. Don't tell her that you precise plans for the future as an aspirational man. You're always preparing your next move. But the golden rule is to never tell her what are you planning for, woman. The future, particularly in the early stages, you may quiet motions believe that discussing your objectives can help you captivate her, but in practice it eliminates a crucial component that women desire: mystery. As soon as you set out each, you're no longer the interesting one. Detail she's interested in this erratic man. Rather, you turn into someone whose next she can move. Forecast, go further, and explain why mystery is so crucial since it maintains her interest. When she is unsure of your next move is that she thinks of you constantly curious about your activities, and women are what sustain the spark. Beings who are inherently interested, they wish to decipher the mystery that is you. If you remove the mystery, you remove the essential component that keeps her. She'll lose that feeling of curiosity and fascination, and along with it some of the thrill of spending time with you. There's a deeper psychological component to this, as high-value males are aware of that. Talking about each stage of their plans can lessen their influence. As if you were as a military general, would you disclose your whole combat plan to everybody who said it wouldn't weaken at all your role and allow you to vulnerabilities similarly to how you? If you disclose your plans too soon, it exposing you to needless scrutiny. She might begin to doubt your choices, giving uninvited counsel or even unwittingly harming your objectives. Additionally, it's critical to keep command over the course of your life. When you don't share your plans for the future, you are still able to adjust and alter the path without anyone else's input. You are not obligated to anyone. Other people's views or expectations and that's where your real power is. Consider your life like a game of chess. A grandmaster's game never shows his next action until he's prepared to. The core of strategic planning is strike. Living by focusing on your goals, not only keep control of your chest, but you also give off a manly air of assurance. Who divulges all of his future information is a man who is looking for approval for consent or cooperation of his upcoming actions. That high-value men do not require approval from whomever they design their own way, irrespective of what other people may think. Maintaining the confidentiality of your plans also avoids any possible letdown or critique. Assuming you share your lofty objectives and, for some reason, things aren't going as planned right now. You simply need to handle your own feeling of failure, but you also possess a different viewpoint in the rear of your thoughts, which leads to needless pressure instead. Proceed quietly and allow. By the end of the day, your actions speak for you. If someone sees what you've done, they've already achieved your objective. The success is yours, pure and unadulterated. Additional demands or input from others. Keeping your ideas a secret fosters. When you maintain your cards, you can be independent. You're close to informing her and the world that you can manage completely. You don't require anyone else's life. Direction to fulfill your dreams with this degree of autonomy is attractive to women, demonstrating to her that you. Does your own guy remain unaffected by the people viewpoints, and that you are completely responsible for your Section 3 of destiny? Never talks about your monetary financial difficulties are among the most delicate subjects in any partnership, but it's crucial for high-value males to secrets of money approach it using a well-defined plan. Facing financial difficulties, in particular early on, can significantly affect a woman's considers you to be a financial woman. Stability is more than simply material. Security is key to riches, especially when you display indications of financial fragility, causes ingrained anxieties regarding whether you are able to expand security. Furthermore, being shallow is not the point here. women are inherently inclined to look for partners who provide emotional and, in terms of money, it's a biological instinct. When you disclose financial difficulties, even when you're trying to defeat them, it may raise questions in her opinion on your capacity to manage upcoming obstacles. She would begin to doubt if you're a man who is capable of lead and supply, particularly in difficult periods. You don't have to conceal because of this your reality or act like something else. High-value men know how, but you're not to intelligently handle these discussions. Rather than presenting your financial, portray it as a battle and frame it as a first step toward a larger goal. Show her that your identity is not based on your current situation, but by your capacity to surpass them. You're not simply discussing what's wrong with you, actively constructing your future. More is represented by twofold: the depth money. More than just money, it represents authority. Freedom and authority when you freely talk about your financial difficulties, indicating that you are missing one of these essential factors that could make her less view of your total worth. This does not require you to be if you're a millionaire, you must provide a sense of authority and competence throughout your financial life, despite the fact that you're not where you want to be. However, the manner in which you discuss the state of affairs ought to be hopeful. Tenacity and resourcefulness, in addition to talking about early financial difficulties, can also give the dynamic an imbalanced connection. If she thinks you're depending on her for financial support or emotionally as a result of financial strain, it can change further. While talking about early financial difficulties can also give the dynamic an imbalanced connection. If she thinks you're depending on her for financial support or emotionally as a result of financial strain, it has the ability to change the balance of power. Things don't support a high value. You want to be in charge of your relationships and in life. Therefore, any imply that you don't have control over your money might provide a degree of uncertainty. It's challenging to overcome. Instead, continue the discussion about money, concentrated on the good things you could not, possessing all of your desired financial things currently. Yet as a valuable man, you're constantly trying to get better, and you have a plan. Keep in mind that it's about impressing her with wealth, letting her know that you're headed in the direction of financial independence, and the fact that you're not readily unsettled by brief setbacks. When it comes to talking about money, less is more. Maintain your financial status confidential until a certain amount of confidence is firmly established in the partnership, and even. Therefore, the way you discuss money is important. A high-value man never gripes about his finances. He acts in such a way that rather than discussing financial difficulties, your goals, your strategies, and your progress is what will be demanded. Honor and preserve the interest in the don't confess in Section 4 of the relationship. Your internal power. Our insecurities are universal. Insecurities of each individual Some people struggle with self-doubt. But for a man of exceptional value, it is essential that you comprehend the harm that acknowledging your fears may do, particularly to a lady you're attempting to captivate or establish a rapport with. This is the harsh reality when you candidly, by acknowledging your insecurities, you give off a feeling of unpredictability. One of the most appealing qualities is confidence, characteristics of a man, and the time you begin. Making your insecurities public instantly erode the foundation. Expand much more and consider it this way. Would you be attracted to a boss who publicly voiced skepticism regarding his capacity to lead? You would begin to inquire whether that leader could manage difficult circumstances, and you'd feel less you can follow him with confidence. To partnerships, when you acknowledge your insecurities toward a lady, in essence indicating that you don't have complete faith in yourself, and that opens the possibility that she would stop believing in you as Well, it's crucial to realize that you don't want women to be your emotional partner. Crutch. They are seeking a man who is able to stand, powerful by himself, but it's not to imply that you should never reveal or open up. Susceptibility, but time and SMS message. Are you in the early stages of everything? Concentrated on demonstrating to her your strength and assurance as the partnership grows. As confidence is built, you can express some of your more profound ideas, but even so, it all comes down to balance. Wish to avoid becoming the man who always need. Assurance really doubles the depth, continuously looking for approval, or a woman's assurance will encourage her to disappearing more quickly than nearly everything. Women also desire to feel safe in a relationship, as well as a portion of that security originates from being aware that the man present who is emotionally steady when you admit your insecurities now. You're giving up your emotional influence to her, and whether or not she is aware of, that doesn't alter her opinion of you. Rather than viewing you as a rock, she may begin to perceive you as someone she requires emotional support, and you don't want to be in that situation. For a man of high value, it's not about acting as though you don't have. It's about how you deal with insecurities. The men who are highly valued they act on their private insecurities. To get over their self-doubt instead of trying to win people over with this is where true power originates, when you confront your fears head-on without needing to be validated by someone else. Prove to the world that you are in charge. Your own thoughts and feelings. And here's even more deeper: when you choose not to acknowledge in fact, your insecurities make room for development by avoiding continuous conversation regarding what you believe to be your shortcomings. You give yourself permission to. High-value males are aware that in order to work on them, despite their imperfections, they don't sit around. They're working to improve. They gripe about their shortcomings. They take action to improve, which is what maintains a woman's interest and is what distinguishes you as a man of genuine value. Section 5 does not disclose historical failures too quickly. Everyone has a history, and failures come with that history. Yet here's, as a high-value man, the thing is that your response is not defined by your failures. To them does in relation to connections, particularly in your early years, must exercise caution when and how you also discuss about your previous failures. A lot of your errors at the beginning of a previous instructions connection may make you appear less competent, but less capable, and eventually less appealing. Expand farther. But you shouldn't conceal all of your shortcomings. Everything has its place and time. But when you also begin talking about past errors, you could soon be at risk of framing being a man who is incapable of obtaining anything correct. Women are drawn to success by nature, yet if you fixate on something for too long regarding the issues that occurred in your history, you're basically letting her know that this is who I used to be, and perhaps I still am. Not what you wish to portray. Rather of discussing your history failures, concentrate on your current achievements. Regarding possibilities for the future, it's not about putting on a false front. It's about demonstrating that you've gained knowledge from your past and have emerged with greater strength. Value men accept accountability for their shortcomings, but they don't focus on them. They proceed with assurance, being aware that each error served as a lesson, not a quality that defines who they are twice as deep. And there is also a psychological factor in play here. When you disclose prior shortcomings too soon, cause an imbalance in her perception of you, rather than observing the capable and powerful you are a man today, and she may begin concentrating on your identity at the time you made those errors. And the reality is, several people often judge, whether they realize it or not. It's unjust to judge someone based on their background, Yet human nature is to conceal that details till the appropriate moment. You give her a chance to see your strengths first, so that when you finally discuss your past, it's presented in a far more positive manner. Furthermore, talking about failures might create, you appear to still be carrying emotional burden when discussing previous errors or failed partnerships. It can give the impression that you haven't completely moved on or gained knowledge from those encounters where women desire to be with guys who possess a strong sense of purpose but men who are trapped in the past. By retaining your shortcomings too, you first portray an image of yourself, of a man who is future-oriented rather than one who is still involved in the last word, the past's errors. And let's take failure goes a step farther and is a component of each success story, but the way you telling that narrative makes all the difference. Distinction rather than showcasing your failures as events that occurred throughout your life. Discuss how they served as stepping stones. High regard for the man you are now. Men don't pretend to be victims. Instead, they fully possession of their knowledge and abilities them to support their development. When its time arrives to discuss your previous frame of failures as essential obstacles that encourage achievement rather than regrets. That keep you conclusion, the strength of quiet and strength, the capacity of a man of high value lies about more than just what he says. Crucially in what he decides not to say, that smart use of quiet can be among your most valuable assets. Permits you to keep command and control, honor and maintain a sense of mystery that keeps women interested by withholding information excessively quickly, whether it's your plans for vulnerabilities and financial difficulties, your insecurities or past shortcomings. Safeguard your reputation and your feelings. High-value males with power are aware that there's strength in self-control, that they comprehend that not all feelings or ideas require to be distributed, and that keeping a degree of privacy is essential to preserving appeal and respect. Silence has nothing to do with lying. Rather, it's about retaining command of your story. When you talk, your words have greater impact. Weight as well as when you disclose something personal. It's regarded as a privilege rather than a hardship in the long run. The less you disclose, the more authority you continue to hold, and the hallmark of a high value is friendship. Man,